Hello there, welcome to another Great Gamers Battle Report. It's Warhammer the Old World. Thanks for joining us. Let's inspect the forces. Great Gamers are go.
Okay, so round one of the tournament. So the boys head south to Belcon 2. So it's a 4-game tournament. And my army list, I'll put a link in the description below so you can see where I go through over the army list and the items. And round one, we're up against Christian with his vampire counts. So this quickly just go over the army and the deployment. So he's got some Vargeists there with a champion. They're hiding behind the woods so they don't get drawn out with their frenzy. Just 5 Blood Knights for a bit of speed on his left flank. In the centre, he's got 2 big blocks of skeletons. I tried to tell him that you can't deploy them in that formation because they're in march column. But anyway, we just left him like that. He's got a level 1 vampire thrall in the front of them as well. So 2 big blocks of skeletons that I've got to try and get rid of. But I'm not going to get anywhere near them because out on his right flank, there's the vampire there. Out on his right flank, he's got a zombie dragon with, I know he's got the blood drinker, probably a talisman of protection as well, and a unit of 10 black knights. So he's got a solid centre of skeletons. Skeletons die like dogs, but the flanks is where I'm worried about. So he's got the dragon, and we'll look at my deployment. No plans with my deployment, so I think by turn 4, game 4, I start to work out what I'm doing with my deployment. But first game, we'll see how it goes. So I usually drop down the chariot. Got 2 orc chariots, so I usually put them down first. So I put one out on this flank on his own, which is a bit of a risk because now he's going to go impetuous. So just have to be careful there. The Night Goblins archers in the woods, the Doom Diver was behind them, and then the Arrow Boys with the Spidey banner are there as well. And my little level 2 shaman with Warg magic, and they're facing off against the dragon across the table. I've got the Black Orcs in the middle. Decided to deploy them 9 wide, so 4 great weapons, 5 shields in the front rank. The level 4 is just in front of them, and my little Night Goblin boss with Walloper's one-hit wonder and the Ruby Ring is in front of the Night Goblins there as well. So he's just there. The Great Keef with 1 chariot next to him and some Night Goblins. So we're just going to try and maybe I can win the right flank. And I don't know what I'm going to do about the dragon on the left flank. So that's the deployment into turn 1.
Let's go. Turn 1.
So the vampires obviously won the roll off for turn 1. And he's not sure what the dragon can do. So he's just thrown the dragon forward. He said that he'd figure out what the dragon can do in the first game and then go from there. So maybe I can throw some fanatics out here, my chariot. I hope he doesn't go impetuous and have to charge the dragon. And then he's just sort of moved the skeletons up slowly. And the Vargeists have swung out to the left flank there, and his Blood Knights have just moved up a little bit because they're a bit of a standoff on the right flank while he's pushed the dragon into the thick of it on the left flank. So we do have a little bit of shooting, so I plan to maybe drop a Doom Diver on top of the dragon. I passed my impetuous test, and I've thrown the chariot out there on the flank in the hope that he might go after the chariot and leave the rest of my army alone. So that's our only hope there is maybe we can get the dragon to go the other way. And then I've moved the boys up here. My mob of boys here, Arrow Boys, have got the spider banner, so maybe they can put a wound through. Maybe the Night Goblins can put a wound on the dragon. So maybe we're just going to try and do something to the dragon, maybe distract him with the chariot. But otherwise, all we can do with the dragon is use some harsh language on him. That's all. Over here, I moved up to throw some spells. Maybe I can do some damage to the Blood Knights. I've got some bolt throwers and another Doom Diver over there. I've pushed the fanatics forward, so hopefully the Blood Knights come forward and I can send some fanatics through the Blood Knights. and the Great Keef with his chariot sidekick there are just going to hang about there. So a bit of a standoff on this flank, and we're going to try and do some shooting on the dragon. Let's see what happens.
One blood knight. Yeah, yep. All right. So we did nothing to the dragon. He kept rolling 6s to save. So we're in trouble there. Yeah, these guys did nothing. After all our shooting, we killed one blood knight, which you can just probably raise up.
Turn 2.
Okay, turn 2. It's a bit noisy here. It's raining outside. It's a bit noisy here in the shed when it's raining. So I popped the fanatics out on turn 2, hoping he'd go after the chariot, but he's too smart for me and he decides to charge the night goblins in the woods. So maybe the night goblins can hold and the back of his base will be hanging out of the woods and I can send the fanatics through him. That was my plan, but I just need the night goblins to hold. They could even stand and shoot with their short bows. He's just checking out, make sure his black knights can't get into the chariot. On the other flank, he's just going to shuffle forward. So this is the main one. Can the night goblins hold?
Fail their terror. All right, so then we pivot and we go 2d6 and see how far we go.
So, oh no, the night goblins failed their terror test. They fled and the dragon caught up to them because they just bounced out the back of the orcs in a big long line there from centre to centre, and that's the final position of the dragon. So those fanatics, they can't go after the dragon because they'll hit the woods, so I'm just going to have to send the fanatics up towards the knights. And then he's going to pass his leadership test to be able to reform, so the dragon's going to be on the flank of the archers. So my cunning trap has not worked. I'm going to have to send these fanatics on a long bomb run towards the Black Knights, and one of them will roll a double and strangle himself. So things aren't going so well on that flank. He's a bit worried about this pillar of fire I have in front of his Blood Knights, and he's raised his Blood Knights back up again. So now he's getting confident on this side. He's going to send the Vargeists up the flank there to hide behind the hill. And the pillar of fire bounced through a couple of things but didn't do much damage. Maybe it killed a couple of skeletons. That's where my fanatics ended up. So one of them rolled a double and choked himself. So and there's the dragon on the flank of my whole army. So how do we get ourselves in this situation? Well, don't rely on Night Goblin leadership, I suppose. We can see we've got some shooting there, and I can turn those arrow boys, but there we are. The dragon, zombie dragon on your flank. Things are looking grim for the orcs at the top of turn 2. So I'll just have to turn those arrow boys around to face him. That's all they can do, really.
Okay, so these guys are in a bit of trouble here. Yeah, I think that might be. So after all that, everything, we did 3 wounds. The vortex is out. Foot of ball. And that is it. We're up to turn 3 already. Yep. Okay.
So yes, I did everything I could, and I had a good bit of shooting on the right flank here. Doom Diver, Bolt Thrower into the Blood Knights, and we've got the Blood Knights down to about maybe 2 or 3 left, but he's in range of his vampire, so we'll probably be able to raise those back, and I sent those Night Goblins up there to deliver their fanatics to maybe finish them off. So yeah, this is another view. So just thrown those fanatics up there. They will draw the Vargeist into them with their frenzied charge. Maybe the Blood Knights as well. But next turn I'll drop the fanatics out. Then I've got a counterpunch with the Great Keef and his chariot. And we threw everything we could at the dragon. We did 3 wounds, so not so bad, I guess.
Turn 3.
All right, well, we're into turn 3, and the Vargeists have gone into the flank of the Night Goblins here, and I sent Fanatic through them and one through the Blood Knights as well. So I think one of them might have rolled a double maybe. We've only got a couple of fanatics left there, so we do a bit of damage to the Vargeist and a bit of damage to the Blood Knights. The Great Keef is right there, so he'll be able to lend his leadership to the Night Goblins. So I'm hoping that they will hold, and then the Chariot and the Great Keef will be able to pounce on those Vargeists. That's the plan. So this flank's looking okay. Got my level 4 Shaman hiding behind the building there, throwing out vortexes and so on. And things aren't looking so good over here. So the dragon charges the mighty Araboys with their Spidey banner, and I issue a challenge with the champion. So he promptly makes short work of the champion. Then I'm hoping that their combat res might be able to hold. This fanatic went the wrong direction. The other one necked himself, rolling a double. So those Black Knights are fully intact and ready to support the dragon as they shuffle forward. And so I'm just hoping the Araboys could hold. And they've got these double vortex, got the Foot of Gork out there and the Pillar of Fire. So plenty of vortex action there. But right, so the archers, the Araboys have been killed and run down, and now we've got some panics. Yeah, the Araboys couldn't hold, and so the dragon charged in there into the Araboys. The champion challenged, but it was too much for them, and then the Araboys ran, and that was their final position. So they've been run down by the dragon. So things aren't looking too good. Okay, well, things are looking grim, and I left this chariot out here to his own devices, and he's going to fail his impetuous test. He's going to charge through the fanatic into the flank of the Black Knight. So I'm hoping he can survive the impact of the fanatic on himself and then do some damage to those Black Knights. Maybe he can just hold them up, just want to keep them back while we try and deal with the dragon. And then the key here is little Teddy Slickguts, my level 2 Shaman. He passed his panic test, seeing the Araboys destroyed, and he's going to hang around. So that's key. And then the Black Orcs are going to have to charge. So it's up to Teddy Slickguts and the Black Orcs to do some damage here. The Great Keef, he's not silly. He'll pick a flank to charge into here. So he'll go in there with his Ogre Blade and make short work of the Vargeists, because they've been whittled down by the fanatics. As to the Blood Knights, there's only one Blood Knight left as well. So I'm feeling pretty good on the right flank. Still have a chariot in reserve there as well. So that's the situation on the right flank, but the dragon's killed 2 units. We've got to do something about the dragon. So the chariot is into the Black Knights, and the Black Orcs are going to charge the dragon. Now the dragon will issue a challenge, but the Black Orc champion will have to just step back and let the boys do the job. And the key here is little Teddy Slickguts, my level 2 Shaman, cast Itchy Nuisance on the dragon. So everything's going to plan now. He passed his panic test, he got the spell off, and the dragon's toughness is reduced by 2. So that's going to help the Black Orcs to be able to wound the dragon. What else also helps the Black Orcs is they've got a war banner in there, but also the dragon fluffs his attacks really badly. Over here, the chariot took 2 wounds from the fanatic that he charged through, and he does a lot of impact hits. I think I rolled the maximum 6 plus 1, plus the boars, plus the spears, etc. And the Black Knights are going to crumble. I think I did maybe 5 or 6 wounds, and that was too much for the Black Knights. So there's a bonus. The chariot has finished off the Black Knights. I didn't expect that to happen. I thought maybe the fanatic, he had to survive the fanatic, so only took a couple of wounds from the fanatic, and then he's just absolutely charged and killed the Black Knights. Pretty good. Pretty good from the chariot. Over here, the Great Keef with his Ogre Blade's going to make short work of the Vargeists, so he rescues the Night Goblins there. There's still a couple of fanatics spinning around, and there's only one Blood Knight left. So I think the right flank is secure. I still have a chariot in reserve over here as well. So yeah, there's one chariot, left him back there away from all the fanatics. And then little Teddy Slickguts with his itchy nuisance was too much for the dragon. The Black Orcs went to town with Furious Charge and their great weapons, and with the reduced toughness from itchy nuisance. So the dragon is gone. The combat resolution was too much, and the Orcs have made a mighty comeback. I can't believe it.
Turn 4.
Okay, well, we do play out the last couple of turns, but it's all over for the undead. The general's gone, and he's just got a couple of units of skeletons which are surrounded by orcs. I still have all my shooting. I think maybe one of the doom divers might have blown up or something. Now I think they might still be there, and they're totally surrounded by orcs, and they start to crumble. So, well, I was pretty lucky. The little Teddy Slickguts, the level 2 shaman, he survived his panic test. He got itchy nuisance off. He rolled a 2 on the D3 to reduce the toughness of the dragon. The Black Orcs went in and they fought pretty well, and the dragon fluffed his attacks. So the Black Orcs won the combat by quite a bit, and that was the end of the dragon. So that's pretty much the end of the game, really. It was just me chasing down skeletons and whittling them down. So I'll just leave you with some highlights here. Probably could have deployed better this chariot, even though he was out there trying to draw the dragon in. He ended up being one of the heroes of the game because he destroyed the Black Knights single-handedly. So as a vampire Black Knight aficionado, I know the pain of losing Black Knights to virtually nothing. The hero chariot gets charged by skeletons, and actually he breaks and runs at the end of this combat. So he's a little hero because he lives to fight another day. They don't actually kill him, but it's just mopping up. So it ended up being a 16-4 victory to the Orcs. So I was hoping to get 2 wins. So I've got 1 already. Just need another one out of the next 3 games. So stay tuned for round 2, where we take on Chaos Warriors, and they've got a Chaos Dragon. So we'll see if the boys can handle a Chaos Dragon. So there's my hero chariot. There's the hero Black Orcs. The Great Keef flies again. All right, so thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned for round 2. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching another Creaky Gamers production. We hope it wasn't too bad.